Hello guys, I am KD Vineet. I am currently a pupil at Core Forces. In this video, we will discuss the editorial for the problems A to E in the recent Core Forces contest, Educational Round 120. The round is already going on, but I have solved 5 problems and the sixth one seems a bit too hard, so probably I would be leaving it. So that we can also have the editorial just after the contest. So let's get started. I will just briefly describe the solution for a problem and then uh, a brief idea on how I coded it. Okay, so the first problem is construct a rectangle. There are 3 sticks with integers length L1, L2, L3. You are asked to break exactly one of them into 2 pieces in such a way that both pieces have length strictly greater than 0. uh, the total length is equal to the original length. So basically, you are dividing it into 2 positive halves, and you must be able to construct a rectangle from the 4 sticks that you have got. So I hope the question is clear. A square is also considered a rectangle. So you are given the 3 lengths. So the basic idea is you just like brute force over the stick which you will break, and say suppose we have 3 sticks of length L1, L2, and L3. Suppose you are planning to break this stick, then you must either, if these two are equal, then you can put them here, and then you can break this into exactly half and put it like this. For this thing, this should be a multiple of 2. Either you can go do it this way, or like basically these two, they would either be the opposite sides, or they would be adjacent sides. In which case, this thing should become this, which means it should be a sum of both of them. So I will just share my code. Okay, so you take in the input, you brute force over the length which like the stick which you will break, which is like A, B, or C. If for either of them you can do, you print yes, else you print no. To check for one, you check A, B, C. If B is equal to C, if B and C are equal, and A is even, you return true. Uh, Otherwise, A should be equal to B plus C. So if A is equal to B plus C, this would return true, else it would return false. Uh, that's it for A. I guess A was a pretty simple one, well suited for A. Let's go to B next. For B, we are given that there is a permutation P, and yeah, yeah, and you are like the permutation is basically the rating of a particular song, and you want to and a person okay, and monocard basically rated each song as either uh, 0 or 1. Basically, he either liked the song or he disliked the song, and you must rearrange this permutation, rearrange the rating of the songs such that uh, songs which monocarp liked have greater rating than the ones which monocarp disliked. At the same time, you want to minimize the summation pi minus qi. So let's just understand with one example. Let's take this one. So yeah. So initially, the ratings of the n songs were 1 and 2, and apparently Murukarp liked this song and not this song. So we know that already that the song Murukarp liked should have greater rating than the one which he did not like, and simultaneously the resulting rating should also be a permutation. Third, we would change this to 2 and this to 1. Because this way, this is still a permutation, and this is the only way to ensure that all the ones have greater rating than zeros. Now, you can go and see a big examples and try to prove out some things mathematically. But one thing which is like pretty obvious, like which should be a bit intuitive when you solve a lot of problems is, okay, zeros, all the zeros would have greater rating than all the ones. So you know that there would be first continuous segment from say 1 to k of the permutation 1 to k would be to all zeros, and then from k plus 1 to n it would be to all the ones. This is pretty intuitive, like this is obvious as well, because zeros should have less rating than one. We are not considering the exact index right now, like the exact index of the particular song, but all the zeros which would be having the final rating 1 to k, and all the ones would have final rating k plus 1 to n. And among the zeros, you want to minimize, like among the zeros and ones combined, you want to minimize this thing, which is their old rating minus their new rating. So you want to minimize the absolute difference over them, the summation of absolute difference over them. So what you would do intuitively is you would assign a higher number to the one which had higher rating originally. So a problem, if a song, if it had higher rating originally, you would assign it higher rating in this like new assignment as well. This is intuitive. You can prove it as well, because like if suppose you there are two indices among them which you assign less, like the one which had greater rating previously you assigned less, and the one which had less rating you assigned a greater rating, then you can swap them and definitely your answer would be a bit better. So you can apply a kind of a greedy technique and see that you would just sort them firstly based on like 0 and 1, and then based on their original rating, and then assign the new rating in that order. There can be various ways of implementing this. I will just show you mine. So yeah, this is my code. These are the old and new ratings, P and Q. You take in input the old rating, make two vectors q0 and 1. Q1, q0 basically is for the songs which got disliked or 0, and q1 is for songs which got liked. So if Monocarp did not like a song, you push it into q0. As you push it into q1, you sort them up, and after that you just go through them and like keep on incrementing a counter and assigning them. In the end you just print it out. You can just yeah, you can just go through the code briefly. I would put in the links in the end, so you would be able to understand. Okay, let's go to the next problem. Set or decrease. So yeah, this is also like kind of a problem that you would have seen previously if you are doing competitive programming. You are given an integer array a1 to an and integer k. In one step, you can either choose an index I and decrease ai by 1, or choose two indices I and j and set ai equal to aj. So this, I guess, the question should be clear. You have been asked what are the minimum number of steps required to make the sum of the array less than k. So the question is pretty straightforward. Like you are given an array as like most of the problems, and in one operation you can either decrease some value by 1, or you can assign it to some value as other. And what you want to achieve is you want to ensure that sum of all the values is less than k. So one thing which obviously you can see directly, whenever you would assign a number ai to aj, you would assign him the minimum value of the array, because that would give you, like, you want to minimize the sum. So if you want to assign a number, like if you want to do the second operation, you would, any element you do it on, you would make it equal to the minimum element of the array. And simultaneously you can also see, if you have to pick some element like ai, if you want to assign ai equal to ag, you would choose ai to be the maximum element of the array, so that you can make the complete sum as less as possible. So this is one greedy thing you can easily see. Another thing which is kind of greedy is that suppose you do minus 1 like you decrease an element, you maybe assign it to someone, and after that if you decrease this, then it's not optimal. You could have decreased it first and then do the assignment. That would have given you better results. Simultaneously, if you decrease this after assignment, that's also suboptimal, because if you have used this decrement for this particular element and then done the assignment. So this can also be seen intuitively, or you can like see this way, that most optimal is to decrement an element first and then do the assignment. And again, for that thing, you would always decrement the minimum element of the array and then keep on assigning it. And uh, let's say we have an array 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So we know that we will always decrement this first and then go on assigning it to some values. And even for assignment, we know that we will first assign it to this. If the sum is still not less than k, we will assign it to this and then to this and so on. We will go in this order. The only question now is how much you should decrement this particular value, which is what we will brute force on. So I will show you the code that would make more sense. Okay. Basically, you take in the array, you sort it. After that, uh, yeah, you find the prefix sum for it. So that like you can get the sum between any two values easily. You find the prefix sum for it. If the total sum of the array itself is less than k, you print 0 and you like return. If not, what you do is like one possible answer is uh, this is the extra value you have. So like pre-n is the sum of your array and k is what you want to make it. So you will just take the first element and just do the decrement operation. You will never use the assignment operation, which is the second type of operation. So if you don't use type 2, just the type 1 operation, then you can do it like you can get the answer in pre of n minus k number of operations. If you have to do the assignment operation, then now we see how many elements we do the assignment operation on, which is what we kind of brute force on. So you increment counter, like you start the counter from 0, which is basically the number of elements you would do the assignment operation on. We'll start from the last element because again we want to do the assignment or to the maximum element. Then what we do is we find the sum of so basically suppose we know that we have to do the assignment operation on these three elements. Then what we do is we find out the sum for these elements. Like this would not be a permutation always, so you need to find the sum using prefix sum. So I found the sum for these, which is pre of I minus 1 minus pre of 1. This would be the sum of these elements, and k minus this would give me what should be the sum of these four elements. So suppose I decremented this value till x and I assigned this to these three, then 4x, let's call this value sum. Yeah, 4x plus sum should be less than equal to k. This is what we want to ensure if we do the assignment on these three elements. And now we can see that x should be less than equals to k minus s by 4, which would be count plus 1 in general. X should be less than equal to this, and we can take, like, since we want an integer, since x has to be an integer, we can take the floor of it because that would only decrease it. So like if x is floor of this thing, it would be less than, so basically x is equals to k minus s divided by 4, floor of it. So if x is this, then like it would be less than this thing, and thus our required sum would be less than k, and this is the maximum value x can take, and we want the maximum so that the number of operations altogether can be minimum. Yeah. So again, one thing just try to remember: if you want to get floor for positive numbers, you can just do the division and you would get the full floor. But in C++, at least, to get the floor, like you would have to do another thing to check. Like if the number were negative, then it would give like seal of the thing. So that's a bit like that's something you just need to check out. So yeah, so you define the sum, then you divide it by count plus one. Basically, count as these number of elements and plus one. That would give you the maximum value x can take, such that the overall sum is less than k. This is just to ensure that like if the sum was negative, then we need to decrement it by one because it was C. Now temp is count. Temp is basically the number of operations we did. So it would be count for them, like because like we assign it to these elements, and we will add a1 minus x. So basically, this was originally a1, and we changed it to x. And for to do that, we would have to decrement it. Like if it's less than its original value, then we have to decrement it, and that would also take a1 minus x operations. So the total number of operation is temp, and we minimize it with the answer, and then we print it. So again, you can see it's kind of a brute force on the number of elements we try to do the assignment on. Like yeah, this was like a kind of another like on greedy technique, but yeah. So I guess the important thing was to see that you can brute force on the number of elements you would assign, like do the assignment on. Okay, let's go on to the next problem. Okay. Yeah. So shuffle, you're given a, yeah. But then I would say like do wait till E if you are like just wanted to know the solution for A to C. I feel like E is a bit more easier than D. Still, just to go in the order, I will go from A to E. But yeah, E is easier than D. What I felt. Okay. So you're given a binary string that is a string consisting of 0 and 1 or s of length n. You can perform the following operation on the string s at most once. Choose a substring, like you can choose a substring of s of length like such that it has exactly k ones and shuffle it as you wish. You need to calculate the different number of strings that can be obtained from s. So if you take this particular string, then it is 1 1 0 0 1 1 0. So this is the string. Okay, maybe I will choose move back. So that string is 1 1 0 0 1 1 0. Yeah, this is the string. Um, yeah, you can take any substring which has length, which has exactly two ones. So you can take this, this, or this. You can take this substring, and you can also take this substring. So you can take all of these substrings, and you can do the like shuffle them as you want, as you wish. You have to find the different number of strings that are possible. So say if we take this substring, we can shuffle it and make 1001 out of it, and this was the remaining string. So this is one possible string which can be made out of it, and you can like figure out a lot of ways. So there are 10 total strings, 16 total strings which can be made out of it. Uh, let's say this example. In this, we need to select a substring which has exactly 8 ones, but even the complete string does not have exactly 8 ones, then like we can't do any shuffling. And third, there would be just one possible string. So again, like for this problem, I'm a bit confused if my solution is wrong or something, but I think n can be up to 10 power 6, at least in my solution. So I will just explain you my solution. Um, Yeah. So basically, what you do is uh, you first of all find the first string which has exactly k ones, and suppose you have say this substring which has exactly two ones, then this has a length of 4, and you have to make two of its bits set. Like you have to make two positions 1. Thus, there are 4 choose 2 ways to make it to make any two positions ones, which would be uh, this, then this, and similarly you can make another set. Yeah, I guess this should work. Um, 4 choose 2 will be 6. So I guess this part is separate. We are not changing. 1 1 0 0, 1 0 1 0, 1 0 0 1, 0 1 1 0. Okay, this would be 6. So these are the 6 possible things. For a length of 4, we need to set 2 bits. So it would be 4C2. Now, so this is like the first thing we would do. Find a substring which has exactly k bits, maximum substring. This then you like you can do it in like L choose k ways. You can shuffle it up. So and the other part would remain the same. So that would be the number of ways you can, like number of strings you can make by just shuffling this part. After that, what you do is you just go on to the next character. If you want to form a new string, you must change this. Now, suppose if you don't change this and the previous length either it remains the same or it decreases, then any shuffling among them you have already checked, like you have already counted. So, for any shuffling previously, you have already counted it if this thing remains 1. So, like suppose this is 1. So, if it remains 1, then for any shuffling before, like if we take this, the length which we can take would either decrease or be the same. Here in this case, as you can see, the length would decrease. We can now take like 1001 because we have to include only two ones. So yeah, that length would decrease. And now if you let it remain 1, then all of the permutations for this time you have already counted previously. Because like this would like counted all of this. Like suppose if we include this and we do some shuffling for this substring and we let it remain 1, then 110 was already counted, and so was 1010 and 1001. So if you let it remain 1, there is no point and you won't get new substring new strings that you can form. Thus you must change this. So for, since this is 1, you would change this to 0. And now for all the previous part, so like suppose if you have to do like now we go to the next character which is 1. First, this must change to 010. And for the remaining part, this would be 1. You have to shuffle this string. Yeah. So you now have to shuffle this particular string 1010. Cause okay, so I will just explain maybe using this. Suppose you had lots of one zeros, one zeros, one, and you have something, and this was the next character you came in. You would take the maximum string such that there are exactly k ones. You have already counted all the particular strings that could be formed using all the characters like before this. Now you must include this and you must change this position, else you won't get new substring. And if you change this particular character, you will get a new string. So it's like kind of both ways. Now if you change this particular character to 0, you must change it to 0. That's the only option you have. Then for the remaining strings, you must set k bits. So like if this length is L, then you would add L minus 1 choose k uh, new strings to your answer, and see if instead it was 0 and you changed it like this was like the new character you encountered, you know that this would be set to 1, and for the remaining positions L minus 1, you must have put k minus 1 bits on, like you must put k minus 1 bits on. So that would give you L minus 1 choose k minus 1. I hope you get what I want to say. So I'll just go to my code. Maybe that makes it a bit clear. So the first part is just calculating the NCR values. Then you take up the input, which is the original string, and you have the n and k values. You find the sum, basically number of ones that are there. If the total number of ones are less than k, that means you can't do any shuffling. And if k is zero, basically, basically you must select a substring which has zero ones. That means it has all zeros, and thus any shuffling you do, it will not form a new string. So if a sum is less than k or k is zero, the answer is one. Else, what you do is uh, you find out uh, the maximum index till which the sum is less than k. So basically, CUR is the last index after which the sum, like the prefix, would have greater than k ones. So this would be my first length, which, as we know here, was this particular thing because k was 2. Now for that particular string, we just add to our answer. Like last is like initialized with my 0. This is like the last position we have encountered, like we have cleared. So this is initialized to 0. Thus your length would be current minus the last position, and from that, like in between that length, you can set any k bits. So thus the answer is length choose k. Yeah. Now what you do is you go on to the further elements from like current plus 1 till n, and what you do is if that element is 0, we know what we need to do is I, which is the current position, minus last minus 1. So like this is the length of the particular substring you are considering, minus 1, length minus 1, choose k minus 1 because one of the ones was already gone to replace this. So we will add to our answer length minus 1, choose k minus 1. If it was 1, like if AI was 1, what we do is uh, we usually had k ones. If we include this particular one as well, we change color. So we originally had this ones which were k. If we include this particular one as well, then we might we will exceed the range k, which is like we will get k plus 1 ones. Thus, we must increment our L until we see a 1, such that so that we will again get k ones, k bit set. So we increment last until we see a 0. Yeah, basically, if it's 0, you are not changing the count. So as like when it will encounter a 1, it will break away. And thus, we would get a new substring in which again we must change this particular one. So 0 will come in here, and for the remaining number of bits, which is length minus 1 1, like length minus 1, so I minus last minus 1, for these particular bits you will set any of the k values. So length minus 1, choose k. There are k ones, you would choose any of them, and that would be your answer. So you add that to your answer, and in the end you print it. I hope the idea is clear. Yeah. So let's go on to the last problem for today. So math test. Yeah, this was an easy problem. I would give like this would have a short explanation as well. So Petya is a math teacher. She has n students, and like he has given them m questions. For each student, it is known which question he has answered correctly and which he has not. So, Petya has n students, and and like the paper and the question paper had m questions, and for each of the n students, which question they did correctly and which question they did not do correctly. Yeah, that thing. Now what you want to do is, like, each student also has an expectation code. You can assign points to each of the M questions. So I can give 1, 2, 3, or 3, 2, 1, or 1, 2, 3. I can give points to each of the questions such that the points I have allocated is a permutation. And since Paytm wants to surprise his students, you want to ensure that the summation of their surprise, which is basically the score they get and the difference of the score they get and the score they expected, is maximum. So you want to maximize this thing. If you read the question, I guess the question would become a bit clear. Now let's just see how you can actually do that. So basically, one first thing that you should see is n is 10 and m is 10 power 4. Whenever something is this less, you can directly get an idea that something around bit mask or binary would be used. So what we do is, like, we know that something around bit mask would be used, which is from this. Since even if we take 2 raised to 10, which is 1000, and multiply it with 10 power 4, we get 10 power 7, which is more or less doable. So we must get that thing. Yeah. After that, what we do is, let's see where the binary things comes into play. So we have this summation, right? For some student, he would have received more than his expectation, in which case, uh, like, this summation would be their result minus their expectation. Expectation is given to us. And for some students, they would have received less than their expectation. For them, the difference would be their expectation minus the result, minus their result. So for them, they got less than their expectation. For them, they got more than their expectations. And a particular student would either be this or be this. Thus, if we can decide for each particular student, like, whether he would get more than his expectation or less than his expectation, then our our resulting surprise would basically be summation of this thing, in which xi is constant, so we can remove them. Like, since we want to maximize it and xi's are constant, we can remove it. What thing would vary is ri, because we can change the score assigned to each particular problem. Thus, it would be positive for students who are expecting, who will get greater than their expectation, and it would be negative for students who are getting less than their expectation. So you can just see that, suppose for this student, if he would contribute positively to our to our score, to our surprise, we want this question and this question to have maximum values. Suppose for this student, he's going to contribute negatively, he would do this minus ri. Then we want to have this value and this value small. So what you can do is, suppose the score we assign is, say, uh, P1, P2 up till PM. There are M questions, and these are the score we assign to them. This should be a permutation. Now, what we can see is, for the positive ones, uh, like like suppose for student, he got, let's say this example, we have P1, P2, P3, and we know that first students contribute positively. First two students will contribute positively, and the last two students will contribute negatively. So we know that our score would be P1 plus P2 for the first student, uh, plus P1 for the second student. Hmm, yeah, okay. Minus P1 for the third student, minus P3, uh, and minus P1. So we know that this would be the score which we'll get, and we can take the summation over all the students. And thus, for each of the questions from 1 to m, we will get a coefficient, say C1 to Cm, and thus our final surprise value would be C1 into 1 plus, like, C1 into P1 score of problem 1 C2 into P2, and CM into Pn. And since we want to maximize this value, we will give the largest points we can uh, to the problem which had the largest coefficient, and similarly greedily we'll give the minimum, like 1, to the problem which has the least positive or most negative coefficient. Let's see its implementation. Like if you'll just try to see out a few examples, this should become pretty clear. So what we do is we take in the input, uh, like we iterate over all possible bit set that could be there. So basically, a bit set would represent which person would have more than his expectation and which would have less. So suppose for 3 people, we will have 3 particular combinations, all get less than their expectation. One, like first person gets more, second person gets more than his expectation, and so on. We can like write down all the 8 things. So we just iterate over them and we evaluate them, that what's the score if we get them, and if it's greater than our current answer, we make that particular permutation which we get as our answer, and in the end we print the answer permutation. In that, you just, what you do is you find if a particular like if in that bit set a particular person would get more than his expectation or less, you can represent it with 0 and 1. You will just iterate over them and see what's the coefficient for each problem. You sort the problems based on their coefficient, and you assign them their points, like from low to high, like from 1 to m, and then you just calculate your resulting answer, and if it's greater than your previous answer, then you assign it to your permutation, and in the end you print the maximum, like you print the permutation which gives you the maximum answer. Okay. I hope the solution is clear. You can maybe have a bit different implementation, but the idea of the problem I think is pretty simple. Like the implementation is a bit long maybe, but the idea is pretty simple, that you just do iterate, like brute force over all the possible bit set that could be there. So again, this 10 things maybe makes it a bit more obvious that you have to use bit set, and thus the problem becomes a bit easy. So I guess this is it for the editorial. If you have any queries or comments, please feel free to put them in the comment section. Yeah. Thank you.